So next up, I want to introduce Zoe, who is based in Mill Valley and who likes to build things. She is currently working on building the project she'll be telling you about shortly. She's also built something called Be a Gift, which she describes as the best gift economy app you've never heard of. Zoe is building her project with the Introverts Collective, which includes her daughter Taylor and her husband Demian. She's been coming to Burning Man for several years, and this will be her first art installation on the open playa. So please join me in welcoming Zoe.
Okay. Well, thank you. So the Ovule installation is going to be an exploration of a feminine self. And when I speak about feminine self, I speak about a self that exists in all of us, in everyone, in everything, regardless of gender or identity. An ovule in biology is a part of the ovary of seed plants that contains a female germ. And the intention of this piece is to inquire as to where the feminine exists. Where and how can we find it within ourselves, inside, outside, in Mother Nature, and acknowledge like this Gaia, this living earth, and how do we honor that and value it and take care of it? So last year I asked myself the question that many people have on an annual basis, which is, am I done? Like, am I done with the dust and done with the packing and done with the hangover and done with it? And the answer that came back was, well, you haven't built art yet, you haven't built this. And this is the image that came to my mind immediately, and it really hasn't changed all that much, except for I've wrestled deeply with these questions of gender, and it feels like a she kind of piece. But I've also wrestled with, like, who am I to talk about a divine feminine experience and manifestation, and who am I to speak about that when we need to be looking at things from a non-dual and non-binary perspective? So getting up here and talking about this was about the scariest thing I could imagine doing. So when I got the email that I got to do this, I was like, yay, best night of my life. Worst night of my life. So it's really about, for me, it is a self-portrait, I realize, but I also hope it's a universal self-portrait. And it's really about personal value. And like, do we really claim all aspects of self? You know, are we ready to do that as a larger human culture, to claim all aspects of self and drop this kind of binary operation that, like, the acquisition of resources is the primary drive in humanity at all costs? I don't think so. I think we're ready for a balance. So my asks are the most exciting part about this, and I didn't know that. It's not even on my poster. Like, this all revealed itself this last week. So really what the ovule is a container for others. So the asks we have are, we are asking for sculptors. So if your body shape and color and gender has been underrepresented in art, and definitely underrepresented in art on playa, like, we want you guys to sculpt your own body in Sculpty and send it to us. And we are gonna build this tree that's trunk is an amalgam of all these body shapes. I'm calling it like the tree of humanity within that egg ovule shape. The other ask is we're asking for submissions for a book that we are going to write up to Burning Man, during Burning Man, and print at the end. So any submissions we receive prior to Burning Man will be bound in a leather book and attached to the outside of the piece, so you'll be able to read it, and we will have a collection box at Burning Man where you can put if the piece inspires you, or you haven't finished yet, or you want to write it in line, then you can place it in the box, and we will do our best to include it in the book that week. We will on Thursday night have a open mic night so that people like me who are terrified to use their voice to stand up and speak their values can do that. They can either read something of their own, or they can share something from the book or tell a personal story. So that will be happening at Thursday night. And the last thing we're asking for are artists who work with flora and fauna, like animals and plants. And for example, we are probably going to get some help getting a mini version of the moon from last year, which was just about my favorite thing ever, and true proof that bigger isn't always better, and sometimes primal is best. That was an amazing piece, and so inside the ovule, we're going to have a solar system guided by her direction. So if you're inspired to send us images of the work that you do in nature shapes, we would love, we have to curate, but we really want to create a biosphere inside the ovule that hopefully inspires a sense of falling in love, like a love affair, of wanting to care for Mother Earth and live in relationship and harmonious relationship with her. So the last thing I have to read, because I am terrible at memorizing, but it's the piece that is important to me about this whole process, and I mean it. I believe it's possible that healing the wound of the feminine, which includes rage and grief and joy and celebration and leadership and direction and balance, is the single most effective step we can take towards humanity's metamorphosis into a creature capable of living in harmonious relationship with its environment. So please join us, share your art with us, share your words with us, share your heart with us. We look forward to hearing from you. What does it mean to be feminine? What would your life be like if you claimed it? What would the world be like if we nurtured that and led with that in a balanced way? Thank you.